I joined BRD Medical College, Gorakhpur in 2016, and this incident which we are talking about, the BRD oxygen tragedy, which killed around 70 innocent kids because the supplier stopped the liquid oxygen supply, and the government. The reason was the government didn't pay the dues he was asking for. I did what a doctor should do, a father should do, a responsible citizen should do. And nobody, anybody has having throat and throat is having heart and heart is beating. Nobody would see a kid dying in front of you. So I did whatever I could do best to save those innocent life, and media made me hero, and the same media made me villain. Government didn't like that thing, that the death of the children came to the public domain. They wanted to bury the whole incident, and they came up with the lame excuse like every year August so many kids die, so why so much hue and cry? But so much uproar and so much international pressure, they wanted a scapegoat, and they found one. I was imprisoned for 9 months, and after 9 months, the court here, the Allahabad High Court in Uttar Pradesh, declared that there is not a single evidence of medical negligence against me. There is no corruption charges. I was not related to a medical tender oxygen supply. I was a pediatrician. My duty was to treat kids. My duty was not to arrange cylinders. I did because I could not see kids dying in front of me. After 9 months of that incarceration, I realized when you can be penalized after doing a good work, even after you are a doctor, you are from a good family. I started, realizing that so many poor people, they don't have voice, they don't have resources, that their story comes to the public domain. They are still suffering. People are still incarcerated for 10, 15 years in India without any evidence, without any charges. Then I started touring all over India, and I started conducting medical camps, and I realized that BRD oxygen tragedy was just a brutal face of our broken health system. The whole health infrastructure in India is in shambles, and concentrated in metros only. 72% of rural India don't have health access. The primary health center, which is the backbone of any health system in the world, is in shambles. So I started, a Health for All campaign, and I think that the government, because they didn't want the health system to be exposed. Then this citizen, because so many people I've gone to Assam and I've seen what NRC has done. 1.8 million people have been, have lost their citizenship because of this national register for citizenship. So it's not about one community or Muslim community. The law actually was hurting our Indian constitution. So we were starting protesting, and I delivered around 300 speeches in 2 months all over India. And not a single government, they file an FIR and they tried to arrest me. Only the Uttar Pradesh government, was witch hunting my whole family. They arrested me, and then National Security Act was slapped on me, and I had to spend around 7 months behind the bar. Finally, the court, Supreme Court and High Court intervened, and they said that my speech was not about hate and violence. The speech was actually, the intent of the speech was actually integrity and unity of India. And the district magistrate Aligarh was selective in the, my speech was of around 45 minutes, and they cut it for made it like a, for 2 minute speech, and made it like hate and violence speech. So that's my life, and I'm out of jail after a court has acquitted me, but still I'm suspended for the past 3 years, despite 8 different a departmental inquiry given me a clean chit, and now the ninth inquiry has been started. This time they physically tortured me. The topic is police brutality. I'll tell you, when they picked me up from Mumbai airport on 29th, they tortured me physically. They made me naked. They asked some weird questions. We have approved that I have invented some powder which can kill millions of people. I have gone abroad to destabilize the government. They didn't give me food for 4-5 days. So that was horrible, the initial days. Anyhow, I'm relieved, but traumatized, physically weak, emotionally drained, spending time with my family. It's not only me, the whole family has suffered. But I believe one thing, that whatever happens for a reason. There's no coincidence. God must have some plan for me. That's why so much, the roller coaster ride in my life. And the best part is every time the court is there to rescue me. So life is going on. That's my life. Life is a school, you learn from each things. Whatever comes in your life, you learn, and if you learn, you move to the higher class. If you don't learn, you stuck in that class. So for me, life is a school, and I will continue to raise voice against the injustice done to anyone, anywhere in the world. Okay, so that's about me. That's my life, and I will continue to work as a doctor. I have conducted more than 103 camps, and I have treated more than 50,000 medication-free investigation. I'll continue the social type of stumbling blocks, and but whatever is happening in India right now for the past 6 years, the whole the poison they are putting in the minds of youngsters in the name of religion, caste, socioeconomic status, gender bias. You must have heard about recently so many rapes. 97 rape is happening in India every day. The real issue of the basic issue which hurt India general population, nobody talks about. The issues of health, the issue of education, the issue of employment, the issue of economy, the issue of GDP, the issue of foreign relationship around. But the issue of women atrocities on women, Dalits, the backward class, the minorities. Nobody talk about these issues. They talk about all Ali, 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗵𝗲𝗶, Shamshan, Kabristan, Teen Talaq, Halala, Ram Mandir, Pakistan. So all these issues which are not affecting the general population are highlighted by the media, which is pro government. I would say not all, but 90%. I would say. So, these are hurting our the pillars of democracy, which our constitution are based on fraternity, liberty, justice, equality. So all these 4 pillars are getting hurt by this type of fundamentalist activities, this type of decisive policies. People are divided on the basis of religion, caste, So since when we were small and when we brought up teachers, we never realized there's so much poison have been putting the name of religion. But now you can see people are divided. You take my example. When this 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃 tragedy happened, I worked as a doctor. A doctor doesn't have a religion. Okay, I never thought that night that this is a Hindu boy, this is a Muslim kid, this is from poor family, this is from rich family. I try to save each and every one. That's why when the people ask me, the Yogi ji has targeted you because you are a Muslim, I always answer, no, it's not because of that. It's because that they wanted to hide the real culprits of the 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗃 tragedy. So even if it's Dr. Kapil Mishra, they would have done the same thing. Now come to the police brutality in current scenario in India. I have written to the United Nations Human Rights Commission recently, and I have explained them what is happening. Is trying to suppress the voice with this all security laws like National Security Law or UAPA. These laws are for those people who indulge in anti-national activities or a terrorist organization. But these laws are being used to suppress the voice of human rights defenders, social activists, or anyone who is asking questions to the government. And that's very bad. By this law, government can imprison you, put you behind the bar without any evidence, without any bail, without any judicial remedy for more than 2 years. That's bad. For me, the thing is that I love my India, and to save my India, to save my constitution, I will continue to raise the voice. There are more than 200 students of Jamia, JNU, Central Universities who have taken part in NTCA, NTNRC protested behind the bar. I was lucky to come out, by the court, but there are so many people are still incarcerated. I think we can start the question and answer session.
Okay, we'll start with the Q&A session right now. Please pay attention about how this is going to happen for the Q&A session. If you have a question, please raise your hands on Zoom. The moderator will then pick 5 participants at random from those who have raised their hands, and if we have time, we'll increase that number. You will be allowed to unmute your microphone by the moderator only during this time to facilitate better discussion. Introduce yourself and then ask the question to the speaker. Yes, you can start raising your hands right now. Thank you. Hi, so the first question I think is by Alia Arfin. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Hey, Alia.
So first of all, I'm very happy to see you, and alumni of Jamia Millia Islamia, and so you have went through a lot of mental torture in the jail. So how did you deal with those mental torture and the traumas which you went through? How you dealt with all of them? The police brutality, the verbal abuse. So I really want to know that.
Not only verbal abuse, the physical abuse also. This time.
Yes, sir.
This
so
time
how
they
you
tortured me, they slapped me, I told you, I believe this is some God's plan. Allah की कोई मर्जी होगी, अल्लाह की कुछ मसलहत होती है तब आजमाइश लेता है. God must have some plan. That's why he's taking examination every time. And there's no coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Things from I can bear for myself, but my family, what they have to go through. That's a really that sometime affect me a lot. I am a pediatrician, but I have not seen my kids growing. My first daughter, when she was just around 1 year, I left her, and I came back. She was running. She was climbing. She was talking. But she didn't know who is her father. I still remember 29th April 2018 when I came out of the jail, and I was next morning she got she started screaming, who is this guy? And the same thing happened this time when the other son, my son was just 8 or 9 months old, and I was not there. they tried to shot my brother. You must have heard about. So these things happen. My whole family has to go a very bad phase. This is a tough phase, but I believe in Allah, and maybe Allah. The thing is that my mother used to say since childhood that you should never close your eyes if anything happened in front of you, any injustice happened in front of you. So that tarbiyat, that teaching still is there. So, and people's love and affection. I was unknown to the world before the 𝗵𝗍𝗲𝗪 𝗪𝗓𝗪 tragedy. I was just a simple doctor who used to go to hospital, come back and spend time with the family. Now the whole world knows me. Everybody, they shower so much love and affection, and I don't know whose prayers have saved me from these
So we
people.
all have prayed
So
a lot. We all have prayed for you. We all have prayed a lot for you,
that's why I'm
and
saying,
we really love you, love your work.
2-3 days back, one 70-year-old lady has called from US, and she was saying, Naseema Appa, that she has, prayed for me for 6-7 months continuously, every day, 5 waqt namaz. And same thing, I still remember when I went to Mumbai in a Chal, that is very slum area, and there was one old lady was there, and she said that she fasted every Thursday for me when I was in jail. So these type of things, these things, the feeling come, you can only feel the emotions, and I think that pushes me to do your work, and that gives me the more zeal and enthusiasm to do something better.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the one question. The next person is Ritika Chauhan. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Good evening, Ritika. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. I'm Ritika Chauhan, and I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in Delhi University. You explain, like whatever towards a while ago, you explained that you wrote to the International Human Rights Council. Absolutely, you have written that with hope of probably, something good would come out of it. So, like, for example, you must have come across this news that recently Amnesty International, which is also one amongst the Human Rights Council, has been seized from country itself after 8 years of its tenure. So do you think, like, after all of it, whatever is happening, do you feel that whatever, like, you wrote everything with hope to the International Human Rights Council, so do you think that it would be concluded with some great change, or probably some good in somewhat? Like, what are your thoughts about it? What do you think?
No, I believe you should do your give your efforts, you try hard, you give your best. Result you should leave it to Almighty. Success is not always final. Even the failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue, that matters. My teacher used to tell me that only 2 type of people will tell you not to try. One of those people who are scared to try, and the other type of people who are scared that if you try you would succeed. So for me, I would continue to try. That's why I have a hope when I wrote to United Nations, and I wrote to Amnesty International. And I hope I even to have written to Amnesty International with the hope that they will come back to India after some time when the situations will be better for them or whatever. United Nations has written letter to the Prime Minister of India for my release in after my wife in February. So she also wrote in a hope, and when they replied in around August sometime, and they have written a letter to release 11 people, including me, who have taken part in anti-CA and TNRC, for immediate release. But the government didn't release me immediately. But that was just chain. My wife tried, and they also responded. So I'm also trying, because so many people. You remember, Ritika, you know my story. People know my story. People. That's why people have come in support of me. But there are still thousands of people who are still behind the bar. People have died. You must have heard about the migrant crisis during COVID-19. So people have their stories, but we don't know them. I think we should be standing with them also. There are a lot of people are there. You must have heard about the 70-80-year, the social activists, the human rights defenders are still behind bars. So there is a hope. You should try, and always leave the final result to the Almighty. The road to success and the road to failure are the same. Only difference is how hard you try to get the success. And we should not stop.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ritika.
Thank you. Can Shivam Kumar unmute himself and ask the question next?
Hello, sir. Am I audible to you?
Hi, Shivam. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Voice is cracking, but
I'm a student of mass communication from BHU. My question is that, sir, how do you think that recent times media plays its role in a very how would you say that some truth is something elsewhere, and the fallacy is right now you are seeing. So being a media as a fourth pillar, how would you interpret over that something is better is doing on, or something is going to be default for the youngsters? So in what ways, or what are the methods
Shivam,
you are thinking that the media need to be improvised for the better consequences to reform the government, to interpret the youngster for their growing up? Thank you, sir. I have done, sir, with my question.
Now your question has two aspects. Yes, your question two aspects. Okay, will give you right to have the fourth pillar of democracy, that is media. There are four pillars that Shivam is talking about. One is as administrative, the IAS, IPS, the ED, the income tax, the RBI, all those people, the second part is the politicians, the lawmakers who make laws, and it should be, taking care of the general population. Third is judiciary, who should be unbiased and goes by the rules. And the fourth is the media, who should be, giving you the true news, the gist of news, and there should not be the pro-government or anti-government. Now come to the talking about the media. I'll finish with the one statement with these four pillars. That every institution is heard by this regime for the past 6-7 years. Every institution has been heard. The judiciary, the media, the administrative. You can see the Enforcement Directorate, income tax officers, CBI, RBI, or any administrative policies. They have been included, and they act like a government's puppet. But every system has a good people in each system. Even the judiciary. You can see the so many cases. You can see the judiciary is compromised, but still judiciary's good people are there. I have got relief from the judiciary itself. Now come to the media. Recent Supreme Court has intervened with the Sudarshan TV. You must have heard about how they started screaming that one particular community was getting selected in IAS, IPS, and that was one Delhi Jamia group, and they were saying that they're getting fund from jihadi group. So the Supreme Court interfered, and they said the media is playing a very bad role, and there should be some regulation. In that time also, I the media should not be regulated. They should come out clean. See the digital media on the mobile, on the some digital media made me hero, masiha, farishta for 2 days, and the same media made me murderer, qatil, so the media, once they tarnish the image of a particular individual, what they say, that is very bad. I will tell you the example of myself in the jail. When we used to watch TV, we were allowed to watch news for 1 hour, and we used to play a particular channel. In that particular channel, 3 months I watched that they were talking about the Jamaat and Muhammad Saad, and they're spreading corona all over India. And 3 months they talk about the 𝗓𝗏 Singh Rajput case. I have not heard about the economy, education, health, and COVID-19 pandemic, how it's creating havoc. So media is playing a very bad role in recent time. 90% of media is pro government, especially the TV media, the electronic media. But still, the digital media is doing a very good work. And even the electronic media, the good people. You have seen 𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗶 NDTV doing a good work. So there are good people, there are bad people everywhere. Some fishes, even in my profession, this is a noble profession. So I think we should always keep our finger crossed and always keep hope.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Arjoma Maulik, can you unmute yourself and ask the question? Thank you.
Hello.
So I am a student in St. Xavier's, Kolkata. So my question is regarding how do you think the mode of protest, the mode of voicing that students as a community should do? Because there's a witch hunting going on student protests and leaders as well. So what is the position that you see that students must take to actually voice their opinion and have an impactful change the same as well? And where do you see that this protest should be going together? That's all.
I think today the students are the leader actually. I myself would love to stand behind them because I've seen so many students from Jamia, JNU, IIT Mumbai, your Kolkata University. These students are really good orator. They have a good leadership quality, and they have picked up the real issues of national interest, and they're the first one to raise the issue of increased hike in the universities fees hike, and they have the first one who have raised the issue of CA and RC and came to the public domain, and it became a big revolution all over India. So a student has to raise their voice. Only thing they should remember, non-violence. Violence has no place in the society. There should be non-violence, peaceful protest under democratic constitutional values. Remember that you say whatever you want to say. Never be scared of this fascist regime. These fascist people, they will scare you more. The more you get scared, they will scare you more. The once you see in their eyes and tell that I'm not scared, they will run away. So one thing is that you have to tell whatever your heart says. Don't keep it in that sense, and never go for any abusive or any unparliamentary, unconstitutional ways. So I think students have a very big role to play, and
we could go ahead with our next participant who is willing to ask question. MD Sartaj Akhtar, you could please unmute yourself and put your question forward.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Assalamu alaikum. And I am from Jamia Islamia, doing a master's in Arabic. And really, I'm very grateful.
14th night, 14th and 15th night.
Yes, I have a picture with you, sir.
Oh,
yeah, I have a picture with you. Yes, sir. So I'm very proud, feeling proud that you are
thank you
our leader. So my concern and question is that
Alive.
the students who
No, I'm not a leader. I just said that. Listen, Sartaj,
you're
I'm not a
leading us,
leader.
yeah.
I want to stand behind you guys. I want you guys to. No. I want you, student, to lead us. You are the people who are raising the voice and keeping the issues alive. Yeah, your question is.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, actually, my concern is that about the students who are really mentioned is that who are behind the bar, still from 𝗤𝗓𝗓𝗏 Islamia and ANU and JNU and other society and other organizations. So, what is the procedure and when will they will released from there? And the other thing is that while I am from 𝗤𝗓𝗓𝗏 Islamia, so my next question is that actually there is a feeling of some insecurity in the community all over India, and the role of the police and also the who are holding the responsibility officials. So how can we make it change and face them and force them to do the right thing? What is right for the community? What is right for the India?
I couldn't hear the question.
Okay. Actually, the question was about the student activists who are behind the bar, and what is the procedure and when they will come out?
Yeah, when they will come out, that's a very difficult question to answer because it may take around 2 years. UAP under UAPA, they can be behind the bar for 2 years. But the thing is that same thing true for NSA also. But you have to continue the fight, the legal battle, and the legal battle I fought with from the lower court to the high court, the Supreme Court. So people like whoever is behind the bar has to be a good legal team, a good lawyers, and we have to fight. I didn't wait for the high court. I'll tell you my story. On 10th of February, I got the bail for whatever allegation the Uttar Pradesh government said when my speech was inflammatory and creating enmity between two groups. I got the bail on 10th February. It kept me illegally behind the bar. So I went for that also. For contempt of court, I filed immediately on 15th of February. And I moved, I didn't wait there. And then I moved to the Supreme Court on 18th February itself. The Supreme Court ordered to the High Court to finish my hearing as soon as possible on 18th March. I went to High Court. I waited and they gave me 14 dates every 1 week, 2 weeks, they were giving date. In between, I got 3 extensions also. Then when I realized this High Court judges are rescuing themselves and they're not listening me, I was lucky that I was presented by Indra Jaising advocate and Afzal Ayubi Sahab, and they fought well in front of the Chief Justice Bobde sir. And he himself in that order, he has written that whatever Dr. Kafeel has spoken is a freedom of speech. And that I think give a signal to the High Court to listen me within 15 days to finish my inquiry. So I think everyone who is behind the bar has to fight the legal battle, and it has to be fight through a proper channel. Making hue and cry on social media, it does affect, but the real fight is in the court itself.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And another question was that about the role of police and the authorities who are holding.
Police are a puppet now, I would say. I have asked this question to our DIG when the inquiry was there. My wife wrote letter to the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court and Chief Justice of Supreme Court that I have my husband has they can kill my husband inside the jail, and there was an inquiry, and then when the DIG came, I asked him the same question. You must have heard about my story and you know what I have spoken at 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Muslim University. So why you are doing this? He said that we follow order like robot. Whatever we get order from our boss, we follow it. I said, why? You have taken an oath of constitution. Why you follow your boss's order? Next government will be somebody else, then they will penalize you. He said that then next government will come, will follow their orders. Otherwise, we'll be like you are a government servant. You tried to speak against the government, and now you are behind the bar. So this is happening to the police. Whatever happening to the Uttar Pradesh police today, you must have seen one video. Some people have gone to the 𝗏𝗏 family with the cops and threatening them. So this is the really bad situation. But you can't help it.
Not getting proud.
Only thing you should know the legal rights. When any cops will question you, you should know that you have a right to have an advocate. You have a right to call your family. You have a right to ask for your rights. So always remember, read something. I think everybody has to know something about law.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Even a doctor, an engineer, anyone. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Akansha, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Thank you.
Yes. Am I audible, sir?
Hi, Akansha. Yes, sir.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have said this to you, but you're really very inspiring. Thank you so much for all you've done.
No, see, if I am so inspiring, so many people have left, so many people are abusing me. I'm not a hero, I'm just a common person, but I believe, that I should follow what my heart says. And people are there, that made me more strong and kept me my determination and devotion.
Yes, sir. So my question is that when we go to protest, our family, while your decision is to keep fighting and you have also been to jail twice, what was your family's reaction to all this?
My family stood strong with me, and it was not only, I always said that this was not only my family has suffered for the past 3 years. My brother was shot near the chief minister. My wife, we are married only for 5 years. I have not grown. Their daughter, she doesn't know how to type on YouTube, but she'll type. She will just say Dr. Kafeel, and that those videos come, and I was behind the bar, and she will ask her mother, "Where is my father?" And she will tell, "No, your father has gone to see corona patient." But then she will see all these videos in the YouTube, and she started crying. So kids are growing, and that is very tough time. My 65-year-old mother has to, when everybody is saying there is corona pandemic, everybody should stay home, more than 60-year-old. My mother, 65-year-old, she has to go to Supreme Court to sign papers 14 times to the high, so many times to the Aligarh. So she had to, in this 6 months, she has to go on all those things. This time she said, "Bas karo baba, bolna band karo." But I told her, my mom, Amijan, you only used to tell that you should not close your eyes when any injustice is happening in front of you. That's what I'm doing. So I think you have to tell your parents. That's the tough part, but you have to tell them that you are right and you are doing for your country.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Can Ajmal Ahmed unmute himself and
Ajmal
ask a question?
Ahmed.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Can you hear me? Hi,
yeah, I can hear you.
I am from Kerala. My name is Ajmal. I am from Kerala. So, what is my question is, putting young dissenting voices in jail being happen in our country. So, what is your advice to them, which you think that they should aware importantly before raising voices?
See, I have already said that. And never use any unparliamentary, unconstitutional language. Always go for non-violence and never get scared. These fascist regime, the more you get scared, they will scare you more. So always stood on your grounds, and you should be truthful to yourself. You should not do or say anything which your heart does not believe. You should be truthful to yourself. And if you're right and you're saying the truth, nobody will, can penalize you. These things will happen. That's true that that this regime is suppressing the voice, and there's so many examples of that. You must have heard about only Dr. Kafeel's story, but there are so many people behind the bar. So many people have died. So many people have spent 10 to 15 years behind the bar. So that is a very tough road. But what to do? No, you can't keep your voice, shut when something happening wrong. So I think if everybody should come together, stand up and speak up. When there is a unity, and one more thing I want to clear it. Always be, you should not discriminate people on the basis of religion. I believe in Allah because that's my personal, reason. But I don't discriminate people on the basis of religion, caste, religion. You are from South India, you are from North India, you are Hindu, you are Muslim. That is something personal. Nationalism and religion comes since birth. So that's the thing we should keep in mind, and we should continue issues which are hurting our country.
Thank you so much.
Been so many times, for 5 times, and I got so much love from people there.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thanks.
I'm coming soon. I will love to come.
We are welcome, sir. We are come to Kerala anytime.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else?
If you have any more questions, this is probably the last time that we are going to raise questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Hello.
Yeah, Kansha.
Yes, sir. So, has there been a particular incident or some particular people in your life that made you so unafraid and hopeful, or the person that you kind of are?
I think my mother, she is very strong. I have not seen her crying since even when my father died, we were very small, in 2003. It's almost 20 years. He died, and that time we were small and not small, but we were studying. But she didn't die. She didn't cry at all. She said that I have to, take care of these 6 children. And then I still remember when my brother was shot, and she came to know at 3 o'clock in the night. She walked kilometers and she came to the hospital where my brother was there. We didn't inform her because we didn't want her to, disturb her sleep and to know what is happening. But she came to know, and she came to the hospital. She didn't say anything. She just sat with my brother, put some water on his lips, prayed to the God, and 6 o'clock in the morning, she gave interview to the all media person and said that, listen, Yogi ji, enough is enough. Yeah? So this kind of a strong lady she is. So I think one reason is that upbringing. And I have studied in Manipal, Karnataka, and their teachers, they used to tell that, you should not discriminate between patient. Patient is like a god. So that teaching. And the third thing is that people's love and affection. I get so much love from people that I don't believe that I deserve. There's so many people have prayed. This time also I didn't know. In the jail I never knew that so many people are protesting and so many people are writing and are raising my voice. But when I came out, I am seeing the videos. So many videos and so many messages and so many people have talked about me. That give you something to become more stronger and more determined to serve you.
So we've come to the end of the question and answer session.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking your precious time and staying with us in spite of the technical glitches and everything. Your session and your words have been most inspiring to all of us, and We hope you continue to inspire us, and we'll also learn something from your life and your struggle. And yes, help the society.
STP, could you convey your all the colleagues who are part of your this meetings and everything you have written? Just convey them that I'm just a human being, and I love to do what my heart says, but I'm not a villain. Some people have left, and some people are not happy that you have invited me. I think just convey them that just let them read my life and read my story. I belong to a very good family, and I had an opportunity to go to US, UK, and Australia, but I chose to remain here. Out of 330 my batchmates, only 8 are in India. So I love my country. There is a difference between nationalism and pseudo nationalism, and that we have to differentiate. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. We'll let everyone know this, and I hope your life continues to inspire us. Thanks again to Dr. Kafeel Khan for his invaluable messages. Thanks to each and every one of you participants. Thank you for being so patient. We apologize for the inconvenience caused again. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for making this session even more successful. We hope to see you in our next sessions as well. Thanks to the whole organizing committee for helping us put together this meeting and making it a success. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.